Before I started filming, I forgot to say thank you to every single one of you that subscribed. This last week has been crazy, and thank you to my existing subscribers for coming back. We had a huge jump in subscribers, and I know I kind of took a break and stuff and came back to it, but it means a lot to me, all the support. I really do appreciate it. And if you're watching and you're not subscribed, I would really appreciate it if you did. And let me know in the comments what it is that you guys want to see more of in the fish room, even if it's not something in the fish room. If it's fish related, I probably know something about it and we could talk about it. So I guess any requests would be cool. But you know, I mean, I'm very grateful for every single one of you, and I appreciate all the support, and enjoy the update. Hey, Joel at Up North Aquatics, thanks for stopping by. As promised, trying to do a weekly update for everybody. Not a whole lot new going on down here, but we'll check in on some of our new fish from last weekend, and touch on a few other little things, I guess. So let's get started. Well, let's see if you guys want the good news or the bad news first. I'm gonna assume bad news. Only the females of the muck guppies survived that I was trying to breed out to get some fry and maybe grow up enough to try to sell some in the springtime, but it looks like at least that one's been hit. She's pretty swollen up, and her egg spot on her backside is very big. Same thing with the black one here. So not gonna do too much here, except just watch and wait. And if it was just a fluke that the males died and these girls have babies, then we're in good shape. But if there's some sort of disease or something going on in the tank, then we might not be in such good shape, and we'll have to figure out exactly what's going on and medicate. Other than that, everything's actually going pretty well. Nothing's changed on the breeding rack here. And I finally picked up another flashlight, which is super bright, which is awesome. So we could actually see some of these things, I'm hoping. Yeah, much better. Now you can get a look at some of this. Is the smallest white cloud spawn I've ever had. I think there's like 5 that made it to adulthood. Finally see some of the blue dreams that I've been able to actually start producing now. I don't know why it took forever for them to start multiplying, but they finally did. And of course, just some antler grow outs. I've been selling out of this white cloud tank, so there's not too many left. And cherry shrimp I've been selling out of both these white cloud tanks as well, so there's not too many left, but there's still quite a few. Again, more blue dreams, and you can see them now way in the back all over the place. More antler grow outs. Gar still has not eaten the goldfish, which is fine. Doesn't stress me out too much that he's not eating a whole lot in the wild. It seems like they only eat every couple weeks. There he is over there, way in the back. They are ambush hunters, so he's gonna wait for them to come by him, and then he's gonna jump on them. But you know what? I think he actually did eat today, because I put in, and I can't see it anywhere, a golden white cloud that had a bent back, and wasn't something that I wanted in my breeding group. So he did get a meal, so that's good. And something really surprising out of this tank. This is where I was keeping a lot of the goldfish that I was going to bring to my sister's pond, which I still have a few that I'm going to do that with, especially the ones that I took in for somebody. Wasn't going to use them as feeders, with the promise I'd give them to a better home. So I still have those ones, but I was just keeping a bunch in here, a bunch of goldfish in here until my sister's pond thaws in the spring to get them out there. Pulled them out, put the gar in, and then like a couple days later, let's see if we can do it without spooking them. That little fry, who's in this 5-gallon by himself with a bunch of shrimp and snails, popped up in the tub. And at first I assumed that an endler just jumped But there's not an Endler fry. It looks nothing like them. And I think I made a goldfish on accident. So obviously time will tell, but that'd be really cool. There's our betta. You get a better idea of his colors here with a little bit of light. And yeah, other than that, not a whole lot crazy has changed. And we'll move along here. There's the Oscars. Alright, so these high-fin variatus have been, I wonder if I shine light on here if I can get rid of the glare. Probably not. Don't want to spook them too much because they've been doing hands down like the best out of everything that I picked up last weekend. And I say that because on day 2 they dropped fry, and I'm not seeing any out right now, but when I feed, especially a few minutes after I feed, there'll be all sorts of tiny little fry up in these plants. So yeah, when they're still in their quarantine phase, I guess, waiting to just kind of see if they're gonna be healthy and eat for me, and they're already dropping fry, that's a pretty good sign. The only thing is I have no idea what these guys were housed with until I got them. So hopefully they've been kept with just other high fins or just this group, but you never know what we could get. But hoping for at least a few more high fins so I can keep this line going, because they're really cool. Our buried up cherry shrimp, still hanging on to her clutch of eggs there, which I think it's a few weeks that they hold on to them for, so that didn't surprise me at all. But a lot of nice reds in here and some not so nice reds in here, so we might have to do some sorting. But it is what it is. Everything's doing well. There's Venom. He's just hanging out. He's always ready for food. He like lives by this water bottle here, which is what he gets fed through. So he's just doing his thing. Our last frog and these cichlids, which I still haven't moved. Starting to feel bad that they're in a 10-gallon. So maybe we gotta figure out something there. I thought they'd move quicker, but so they're doing fine for now, but this is not an ideal setup if I'm gonna keep them much longer, so we'll probably have to figure out something with them. The puffers right there in the back behind that log, and of course it just darted away because of the light. Puffer fish living with cherry shrimp without issues, which is shocking because puffers should be eating any invertebrate that they can get their hands on. Maybe I put adult shrimp in here, so maybe they just don't see them as a food source because they're so big, which is what I'm assuming. But yeah, still doing great with the white clouds too. And these white clouds are probably gonna get moved soon because they're putting on a lot of weight fast and they're showing a lot of color fast. It's probably because I feed more protein to this tank. A lot of worms go in here for the puffers and stuff, so these white clouds are getting huge quick. And that's interesting. It goes to show, you know, these were born the same time as the really small ones in the 10-gallon we just saw. Except these ones have been on an all-protein diet because their tank mates need all protein pretty much. And just what it does for their growth is pretty cool to watch. The regular platies, not disappointed by any means. Haven't lost any. Not showing any signs of disease. They're eating really well. They're staying colored up. So if you know platies, you know that it won't be long for these guys either, and we'll be probably having more. So just not much to see for now, except well, maybe we do have some issues going on. That male's not looking too good, and that female's not looking too good. They're not really showing any signs of obvious disease. This is my first time noticing this, just doing this update. So I'm gonna have to look into that a little more. Okay, well, that's a bummer, but maybe time to put this tank on quarantine. There's our male bristlenose who hasn't left this spot since last time we saw him a week ago, so hopefully that means he's on eggs. There's another one under the filter. And sometimes you can catch them in the breeding like caves, but it seems like they like to be under the log better, which whatever works for them is what I want to see. So I'm obviously the caves are in there to try to get them to spawn, but if they don't want to use them, they don't have to use them. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. Tetras, nothing much has changed here. Still love my really weird no eyeball tetras, and still no sign of my albino bristlenose. Every time I come by the tank, they run away. So can't catch those ones for you. Maybe, probably not. Yeah, this is just one of those rambling updates here. This is cool though. We should have another spawn of white clouds pretty quick. This is literally how I've been making them, which is just a container with some marbles on the bottom and some yarn in the middle. 2 females, 2 males. Feed them like high protein. I've been feeding a lot of like frozen shrimp and stuff throughout the week, just to make sure that their bodies are producing the eggs. And you can see how fat the 2 females are and how colored up that male is. And the other one should be the same story. Slender but colored up, nice bright red fins. So what happens is lights go off, it's nighttime, lights come on, daytime, and having the yarn in there triggers them to spawn, because in their mind it's a big plant that they can put their eggs in, and the eggs actually fall down in the marbles down under here where they can't eat them, and then I come scoop the parents out, the eggs hatch, and that's that. The other thing to keep in mind when you're doing this is you do want a little bit of flow, just to keep the water moving. And this is just a bio ball from an old filter that is cycled, just so that the water is flowing through something with some good bacteria on it to keep the ammonia out of the water, convert it to nitrate as it normally would, keep it safe for the fish. And especially since you kind of have to feed these guys up to get them to spawn good for you. They are going to be creating a lot of waste in there, and it's a low water volume. So, but that's it. It does not take much. It's about $5 worth of stuff from Walmart, and you're good to go. And then the fancies that are getting huge fast because of how much I am feeding their tank mates to get. So in the course of trying to get all these white clouds grown up super fast, we are absolutely ballooning these goldfish because they're getting fed 3 times a day and only getting like 1 day off. But yeah, that's that. All right, as promised, pretty mellow one today. Kind of a few bummers. I'll have to look into those platies a little bit, give you an update next week of what the situation there is. In past experience, they seem to be super hardy and probably going to be pretty easy to treat if they got something going on. But anytime you see a fish with clamped fins, it kind of makes you worry a little bit. I mean, I might just give them a decent water change and put a little bit of aquarium salt in the water, hoping it's something minor, since you can't really see anything on their bodies. Their bellies look pretty round, like they've been eating well. I know they've been eating. So hopefully it's nothing and they bounce back. If not, you'll hear from me about it next week for sure. And only losing the males from the guppies when they all looked super healthy and were eating really well. That's an odd one that's got me a little nervous because a lot of people want them, so I need to be able to make them. And when you end up with only females, well, that's not exactly how you make a whole lot of them. So, but we'll see what happens. I mean, this is the reality of it, and I'm not going to hide anything from anybody. I make mistakes. I don't have the perfect fish room. I don't know if there is one. I'm just figuring out my own way to make a lot of things and enjoy myself down here. So, and be able to spread a lot of the fish I can create here throughout the local community and try to jumpstart the hobby a little more in my area. And yeah, so before I get to off topic here. I will talk to you guys next week. Let you know how everything goes. Appreciate you all for being here, and thanks for stopping by.